Hey, good morning. Oh, Jesus is still Lord, not moved by the political system or the financial system. Jesus is my Lord, and the Word's working in my life and in my house, and I am a blessed man. We've been talking for the last couple of days about Jairus, asking Jesus to go with him, and he did. It said he besought him greatly, saying, and Jesus left the multitude where there were obvious needs to go with the one that had faith. Now, the woman with the issue of blood has come to Jesus, and she's made her demand or her request on him to receive her healing. And I want to go over here to verse 33, 34, and pick up on this narrative about Jairus. Now the woman, fearing and trembling, knowing what was done in her, came and fell down before him and told him all the truth, taking a little while to do that, obviously. And he said unto her, now watch this, daughter, thy faith hath made thee whole. Now go back to what she said. If I can touch but his garment, I shall be made whole. So Jesus, not being where she was when she said that, said to her, thy faith has made thee whole. Now, I told you this yesterday, but I will do it again if I have people say, oh, I wouldn't say I used my faith. I'd just say God did it for me. Listen, Sunday I went to South Carolina. I went to a wedding up there. A friend of mine, his daughter was getting married. I drove my car. Didn't drive your car. Didn't go rent a car. Didn't ask my son to borrow his car or my daughter. I drove my car. So what's wrong with saying it's my faith? Because you read over there in Hebrews chapter 12, by faith Abraham, by faith Sarah, by faith, talking about their faith, and God has given you and me the measure of faith. So it's our faith to use for what we want. So she told him everything. And so he said, daughter, thy faith hath made thee whole. Go in peace and be whole of that plague. So she was healed for the rest of her life. Now, while he yet spake, verse 35, there came from the ruler of the synagogue's house certain which said, thy daughter is dead. Why troublest thou the master any further? That's terrible. He's come, asked Jesus to go with him. On the way, Jesus stops and ministers to this woman. And while she's standing there telling him all this, one comes running from the house and says, too late, your daughter's dead. That's terrible. I mean, it just don't get any worse than that. Now watch this, verse 36. As soon as Jesus heard the word that was spoken from the one that ran up and said, don't trouble the master, it's too late, your daughter's dead. Watch this. He said unto the ruler of the synagogue, be not afraid, only believe. Now, I'm going to make a couple of statements here. It's kind of hard. So this guy comes running up and says, too late, your daughter's dead. Don't trouble the master any further. And as soon as Jesus heard that, the very instant that Jesus heard that, he said, whoosh, whoosh. Now, he didn't actually say that, but he said something to keep the ruler from the synagogue from changing what he said to begin with. The last thing that the ruler of the synagogue said was, come lay your hands on my daughter, and she shall be healed, and she shall live. Jesus didn't let him change his confession. Glory be to God. Hey, don't change your confession. Pat told me this morning. Now, it's 5:30 here this morning, and she had already got up. And she said, our stimulus package is in the bank account. I said, well, glory. That's good. But I didn't need it because I have an abundance and no lack. And I'm not going to change what I believe and say because it is there or because it is not there. My confession is my needs are supplied according to his riches and glory, and I need no support. And my faith will get whatever I need. Jesus said, what things soever you desire when you pray, believe that you receive them and ye shall have them. Don't change your confession just because somebody gives you a negative report. Don't change your confession just because it looks like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. Don't look like this is working. It's a working. So as soon as Jesus heard that, he said, don't let fear come in now. So you're believing God for something. I don't know. A healing could be, for a restoration of your marriage or something. You believe something and you're believing God for it. And you've prayed about it and you've asked God to take care of it. Well, just because you hear something negative don't mean that's the time to give up and throw away your hope. This is what the Bible says. Do not throw away your confidence, your fearless confidence in God, for you have need of patience to be the same as, to be consistent. Don't get weary in well doing, but keep doing it. That's what the Bible says. And some Christians get to the place where they pray one time. There's a guy, he's been dead for 15 years now. He heard me on the radio back in the years that we were on the radio. And he says, I'm going to try that. And he told his congregation, he said, I said every day for 3 weeks that I have a new car, and it didn't work, so that faith stuff don't work. Well, bless his darling heart. He gave it a whole 3 weeks. Some things I've been believing God for years. Most of the things I believe God for is just a day. Like I told you, we get in our car on that Sunday morning. We drove 5 hours to the wedding. We drove 5 hours back home, and it was my car that got me there. And my faith is going to bring about total divine health and healing and the restoration of the youth in my body. And just because I get a negative report, I'm not changing what I believe. See, Jesus is saying, don't say something different than what you said before, because I will honor the first thing that you say as long as it stays the same, and I'll honor the last thing that you say. Faith, how it works, very simple. Believe God, hear the word, go to God, have pit bull kind of faith, not willing to take no for an answer. And when somebody gives you a negative report, just say, well, I don't believe that. I believe what the word says. Hey, saints, I got to go. Have a great day. Don't change. Hang in there. Believe God and receive. So until I'm with you tomorrow, receive today. And remember, Jesus is Lord. Thank God. The word works.